What's up, everybody, and welcome back to our favorite Bad Dad Advice episode every year. Before we tell you more, this episode is brought to you by our friends over at Bierstick. Bierstick is the best way, the most fun way to consume your adult beverages. Up to 24 ounces of your beverage of choice, preferably beer, deleted in record time. Down the hatch.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. We are done.
That was slow, dude. You've lost a step.
This one's not lubed up. It just goes slower.
You lost a step.
Oh, God, I'm spilling.
Yeah. And if you're not in for the syringe, you can get the snorkel.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. This is the beer bro. You can just bang through some beers with this bad boy. You bang enough of them, you might be butt chugging by the end of the night. Beer bros.
What the fuck?
What, dude?
Yeah, you can check out
Jaime's
Bierstick.
dying to
You can
crush
check out
beers.
Bierstick.com. If you want to buy anything, please use promo code DADVICE, DADVICE at checkout for 20% off.
We're trying to go to Punta Cana.
Trying to go to Punta Cana.
With the Bad Dad Advice team.
All right, you can't butt chug in Punta Cana.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so James Abatanozzi, he kind of teased it. This is our favorite draft episode, or our favorite episode. Ooh, I just let it spill.
Dude.
All of the regular listeners, just turn it off now. Just thank you for the download.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. But this is an episode for us. We are doing our pre-draft fantasy football special spectacular. Love it. Give me a sound bite.
All right.
Hey, nailed it.
Okay.
We are going to be talking about our personal fantasy football league that we have had for 10 plus years. This is for us. This is for maybe, I would assume, like 8 other people in the entire world care about what we're talking about. That would be the other people
Correct.
in our 12-team league. So if you like fantasy football and
Maybe
you want to
only
hear
7.
you
Brooks
want-
probably doesn't listen.
if you want to hear our opinions about fantasy football, feel free to stay and listen and hang out. But we're going to drink some beers. We're going to talk positional rankings, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. We're going to give one prediction for our draft. We're going to give one thing we will do, one thing we will not do. And then we're going to come back and check doing a post-draft episode, trying to revisit which of these things went well, what didn't go well, who absolutely blew it. Last year, Jaime was...
Value on value on value.
He really got a lot of value, and it ended up not being very valuable.
$1,000 again, 10 minutes.
There you go. That was him. So, yeah, I think anything else?
No, I think that's it.
I think Brooks does listen to this. This is probably where he gets all of his fantasy football prep.
Yeah.
But I don't think Mac does. So definitely 7 people
Mac
is correct.
definitely
All right, so
doesn't.
now
Mac
that
definitely
now that like the regular listeners are gone, like should we talk shit about the regular
Yeah, for
listeners?
sure, for sure.
He's fucking listen. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but we got to keep going. So why don't you, the ones that don't know about our league, maybe the 2 or 3
Yeah.
that actually are listening, tell them a little bit more about our
Okay,
league.
so just so everybody's aware, this is not a standard league. We've had this exact same format. It's a 10-year-old league. It is a 2 quarterback, 4 wide receiver, 2 running back, 2 tight end league. Kicker, defense, and only 6 bench spots. No IR, no super flex, no flex. It is extremely difficult. 6 teams make the playoffs. The first seed and the second seed get a bye. And there has only been a handful of 2-time or more winners, 2 of which are in this room. Thank you very much. Last year, I finished the league first place in the regular season, and I didn't even podium. James Abatanozzi, sitting to my right, he finished in second. And the 2 on that couch... You blew it! Bingo. Womp, womp, womp. They didn't make the playoffs. So feel free to take that however you want. I would say, this room is full of fantasy football experts, but
I will
sometimes
say
we make mistakes.
there is 5 championships between the 4 of us.
It's true. 5 championships.
Yeah, so it's
pretty good.
Make fun of me all you want.
Yeah, 5
James.
championships and 4 of us. I think that's pretty impressive.
Wait, you have one? I didn't know you had one.
Yeah.
I forgot.
He beat me.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I have 2 second place finishes.
So yeah, I mean, we're big hitters, and we're gonna, there's gonna be some deception. I already can feel like Robo's not he's keep playing his cards to the chest. So we're gonna listen to like 50% of what he says. But I was brutally honest last year. I'm gonna be brutally honest this year. And as soon as the draft is over, we're gonna see that what I said is what came to fruition. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with quarterbacks.
Okay.
Tier 1, what are we thinking, boys?
I mean, it's tier 1.
Wait. Did you also mention that this is an auction draft, salary cap draft?
Oh yeah, that's
No.
a big caveat.
Our draft is so there's 18 roster spots, $200 salary cap, and it is the best day of the year.
It really is. It
Oh
really is.
God, it's so
And
fun.
you know what it is? It's like a Guys Day 2.0.
Yeah.
It's like Guys Day 2.0. It's a I come over early. Well, it's a Guys Day for me. I don't know what everybody else does.
Last year,
I come over early. I swim around in the pool. I drink some brews.
Crush a
Watch a couple
Yeah.
preseason football games. Get all
Yeah.
cozied up in
dude,
my
it's
spot.
all about the 30-minute preseason games. All
Yeah,
about
oh, yeah.
30-minute preseason.
I
games.
think you
But it's
might
been
be
way harder now.
reading a little too much into preseason.
No, Mechie is legit, dude.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah. So also this room that
Dude,
you are
he's
seeing,
only a step slower than Tyreek Hill.
for those that are listening to this on
That's what I'm
audio,
saying.
for those that are listening to this on audio, if you want to see the room that we're in, you can check us out on YouTube. This is the room that we will be drafting in. So the earlier you get here, the better of a spot you will get. I just ordered 2 new monitors on Amazon for my home office because one of them is a little bit finicky. So I am probably going to have a 3 monitor setup up here.
Really?
I'm gonna bring my monitors because I'm gonna get them in. They're coming in on Wednesday, so I'm gonna have 3. I'm gonna have my computer and 2 monitors and a keyboard and mouse, and I'm gonna just build a war
Where are
room.
you gonna set that up?
I don't know, somewhere.
Hold on. You know what that makes me think of that Trey's going to look like? Do you remember in...
He's gonna look like a douche.
No,
in that corner over there.
do you remember...
He's
in-
gonna look like you last year.
No. I draft from my phone. Do you remember in Grandma's Boy, the super dorky computer designer, when he's like leaned back in his chair with his like 6 monitors, and he's like, I have robot ears.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be like.
I don't watch movies, so I know.
I don't care as long as I have a good draft. I don't care what I look like.
That's fair.
All right, so I'm looking at again. There's a visual aid. If you go check us out on YouTube, it might help if you want to follow along. So I'm looking at tier 1: Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. In our league, all these guys will go for $40+. I am
40. They'll go for 50 plus.
No.
I don't think
Not
all
all
of them-
4.
I don't think all of them will go for 50+.
I think they will.
I would if I had to guess.
I hope they do then.
If I had to guess, I
Yeah.
actually don't
What
think
did the number last year? It was the top
50
quarterback
and
one for
51.
like 51, right?
50 and 51. Yeah.
Okay,
if I
then
had,
they'll go upper 40s.
okay, so
Yeah.
so thanks for interrupting me to
Sorry.
be wrong.
Sorry, I thought someone went for 60.
I think if
last
any
year.
of them go for 50, then the person probably overpaid by $1 or $2. But I wouldn't blame them because if you really love them, grab them. There's nothing much to say. I think those 4 guys all have a potential to finish QB1 overall.
I mean, the guy that won last year, his strategy was just get Josh Allen and the entire Bills team.
But like
And-
Josh Allen lost
it's so hard with
his
Josh
receivers.
Allen.
So like I'm like,
I know.
Yeah.
But
you
it's
know
like-
what I mean?
I'm not...
but do you-
makes me hesitant.
But like with Josh Allen, do you go he lost all his receivers, so he's not going to be as good, or do you go he lost all his receivers, which means he's going to run more, which is why he's so valuable, which is going to make him better?
I think he's going to put more on his shoulders. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's not like he has a running game to speak of.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's so high on James Cook, but like, I guess. But like Josh Allen lost. Jalen Hurts lost
Jason Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey.
And another lineman, I think.
Maybe. Pat Mahomes doesn't
has
still
no weapons.
still
But
doesn't
he's
really
never
have
had weapons, and he's shown that he can do it without weapons.
Right.
not
No,
QB1
for sure.
overall.
Not QB1.
Not QB1 overall. So if
No.
if you're paying QB1 money, you're not getting QB1 production. Is that worth it? In our league,
No, but that's why I think Josh Allen probably isn't worth it.
that's okay. But
Yeah.
that I think what that does is it just depresses this tier to the mid 40s. But
Yeah,
you're
it
not,
does.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. And then Lamar Jackson.
It does.
Lamar Jackson's an interesting one. Derrick Henry in the backfield. How could you not love him running a high-powered offense? But maybe they go more run-heavy. But does that open up him to get some rushing touchdowns? So I don't know. It's interesting that he's the fourth quarterback. Yeah.
I find myself, I think these guys are, I don't know which one's going to be QB1, if any of them, and they're all going to be very expensive. They're all going to go QB1 money. So I find myself avoiding this.
I think
But-
Polster's going to go for Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Week
But
12 by week
let's
12
be
bye.
real though. It's not about tier 1 in this. All the interesting gameplay is tier 2, tier 3. I mean, that's where you're looking and you're seeing a lot of things. Like last year, you're thinking, might want to get one of these top guys, get all this big power money. This year, there's a lot of talent down low. You could save some money here and go spend other places.
Matthew Berry's ride or die was Kyler Murray. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Robo's ride or die too.
That's Robo's ride or die.
Dude, just why are you like hiding all
Cobra
things?
Kyler's, bro.
You're like keeping it
Yeah.
so close to the chest. Just say you want him. Say
I
you.
do. I really like Kyler this year. I am a big
It's-
Kyler
you know
fan.
what?
You know who I'm not high on? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Everybody's super high, and like they have him in tier 2, and I'm very, very confused.
I
on that.
like him. I like him a lot. Not at 5th.
It's hard for me to see.
I don't like
Anthony-
him as a tier 2 quarterback.
It's hard for me to see him being like an elite quarterback, but to be a top 12 quarterback, yeah, absolutely.
I think
the
every
running
other-
makes him a top 12 pretty
yeah.
easily.
I think every other quarterback in tier 2 could finish QB1 except him.
Oh, no, I don't agree.
No.
I don't think he could finish QB1.
I think it's Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, maybe Joe Burrow. I think those are the only 3 people in this tier 2 that
I
can
agree.
finish QB1.
No.
I agree.
I disagree.
Okay, well, there you
Because
go.
it's the rushing upside. You have to like Anthony Richardson could go 700 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns pretty easily, which would lock him in as a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
And that like 700 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns doesn't seem like that crazy for him.
But why?
In 4 games, he had like 300 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
No, he didn't. He averaged like 32 yards a game.
Yeah, and he averaged 32 yards a game and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He had 120 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in 4
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. So not,
It's not
as
as good
much
as you think. And one of those games was 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
One of
so
those
take
games
that-
was 2 touchdowns.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so 120 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. What'd you say?
Four touchdowns.
in 4 games. Okay, over a 16-game season, that's
17 game.
okay. Well, let's just call it
16 game fantasy
Let's
game.
just call it 16. So that's 500 yards rushing and 16 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, but he's not going to get a touchdown.
No, I get it,
Yeah.
but he's probably not going to run for 30 yards. A
Right,
game
if he
either.
gets 10
You know what I
rushing
mean?
touchdowns, he's definitely going to be a top quarterback.
Correct.
It's hard
Yeah.
to believe he won't be.
Correct.
The question is does he stay healthy?
Does he stay healthy?
Well,
Is his
yeah.
shoulder healthy? Is his offense going to be,
Yeah.
run through Jonathan Taylor more? Like there's a lot of questions that
Yeah.
you just I genuinely like I don't know what he's going to finish at. I could see him having weeks where he is completely contained as a rusher and has 5 points.
But
Which
again-
means you're not going to finish QB1 if you're having those weeks.
But again, you look at these guys. These guys are all going to be, in the 30s to maybe sneaking into 40. But
This
then
group?
I think
you
people
go
will
down,
massively overpay for
but then
Stroud.
you go down to tier 3, and these guys are $20-something quarterbacks.
yeah, tier
And
3
that's money right there.
Tier 3, I think everybody sees tier 3 as a
This is the value.
winning strategy,
Mhm.
which is like, okay, well, if everybody thinks it's the winning strategy, then it's not the winning strategy.
But not only that, if everybody thinks that's a winning strategy, then your tier 2 and tier 1 guys go for cheaper.
Right. If you're telling me
Right.
I can get Kyler Murray for $10 more than Brock Purdy, like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
It's hard to say no to that. So, all right. So you go, I don't disagree so far with how these are ranked. Really, I think I'm fine. I would bump Richardson and Stroud down and put Kyler above and Burrow above, but that's about it. Tier 3,
I'm big on this Jaden Daniels hype train.
Tier 3, I kind of like the tier 3 order. I don't really think I would mess with it too much. I think I'm good with that order exactly as it is.
Yeah, I like the way tier 3 is structured on that one.
I don't love the Justin Herbert injury. I'd probably move him below Stafford. The thing that Stafford every year
He gets a lot of hate.
is low, but I just don't. I mean, last year he was good. I don't even know what he finished last year, but
He was a
don't.
viable quarterback. in a
I just don't
two-quarterback league.
understand the only team that has 2 wide receivers in the top like 24 receivers is the Rams. So if 2 receivers are going to finish in the top 24,
Miami does.
how could
San Francisco does.
Yeah, but Brandon Ayuk's gonna get traded, so he doesn't count.
Okay.
Okay, so right. So,
But
but
it's-
look at the difference. Look at like Stafford 19, Tua 13. Right, Tua's almost at a QB1. Stafford is like low end QB2,
Yeah.
but they're the only guy. Like they have
No, you're
guys
not
that
wrong.
are-
That's
That doesn't make any
the
sense.
thing Trey and I were debating back and forth yesterday is like some people are like, Justin Herbert, man, like how could he's getting so much disrespect and all this other stuff. It's like, how can you justify taking a quarterback that you don't like any of his weapons?
Correct.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
how can you have Herbert, like you said, with Stafford, right? He's got 2 wide receivers in the top 24, and Herbert's still ranked above him.
Right.
But if you had the option to draft Josh Palmer, you're not
Right.
taking him for $25.
The other thing about Herbert is it's not like Harbaugh's coming in to like air it out. He's
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
in to establish the run, right? They get Gus Edwards, they get J.K. Dobbins. Like they want to run the ball.
Mhm.
They want to be like they literally took 2 running backs from his brother's team, put them on his team, and is going to just recreate what the Ravens do.
That's crazy. I didn't
Except-
even think about that.
Except Herbert doesn't
Have
run
Derrick
the ball.
Henry.
I was going to say
Or
Herbert
have
doesn't run the ball.
Derrick
Herbert is not Lamar Jackson in terms of their athleticism. So I've been high on Justin Herbert.
Like if Stafford is my starting QB2, I'm fired up.
I think I'd be okay if he was my first.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'd
no.
probably- yeah.
No, yeah, I'm not.
Like
I'm
if
not
I had,
upset
like I'm
with
sitting
that.
here at the end of 3 and the beginning of 4. If I had Stafford and Rodgers and those are my 2 quarterbacks, I'd be pretty.
The question is, everybody
happy with
thinks
that.
you can get Stafford for 15. If everybody thinks it, does he go for 20 or 22?
Right.
I don't know.
It could happen, but I think a lot of people in our league will bitch out. Oh, I
I
can't pay
guess.
$16.
But if you're
Depends
but
on
if,
when it
what
comes
if
out.
just the 3 of you are bidding against him? You know.
They'll bitch out before me.
Oh. All right, let's go down to tier 4, right? So Rodgers should be in tier 3. I don't know why
Yeah.
he's in there, but other than Rodgers, I think I agree with all of this. I am not. If I had to be
Daniel
out,
Jones,
if I had
in
to be
tier
out-
7.
if I had to be out on one of these people, it would be Deshaun Watson. I couldn't be further out on Deshaun Watson.
Put Daniel
I'd agree with
Jones
that.
off of that list.
Daniel Jones' only reason he's 25 is because he can run.
we were talking about this earlier, but I see so many paths to Jameis being the starter in Cleveland.
Jameis will start for Cleveland at some point this year. I think Jameis will start 2 games in a row for Cleveland. Book that prediction at some point this year.
I don't hate that prediction.
Will Levis. I'm gonna go. I don't want to get crazy here, but I'm gonna say Will Levis finishes as a top 15 quarterback.
Will Levis chucks that thing.
He does.
He lets it
Well,
rip.
it's a different
loves
offense. Everybody
D-Hop.
Oh, yeah.
thinks that Tennessee's like this ground and pound running. It's a whole new coaching staff, and he loves D-Hop, and he has a new weapon in Calvin Ridley. And 2 years ago, everybody would have been like, D-Hop and Ridley, oh my God. It's like D-Hop could still catch touchdowns in the red zone, and if Calvin Ridley can do anything like remotely close to like what Calvin Ridley can do, that's a
He's
good,
also
that's a good
got-
offense.
Didn't Calvin Ridley have like 1,200 yards last year, though?
I don't know if he caught touchdowns. I don't think he caught touchdowns.
think
Yeah, he
so.
didn't. He didn't
But like
catch many,
fantasy
yeah.
wise, you might not want him. But if he's getting yards and DeAndre Hopkins is getting touchdowns and Tony Pollard is
Doesn't suck.
but viable
again,
even remotely,
I know
that's
you
a good
guys-
offense.
I know you especially hate him this year, but he's also got like the equivalent of a Wes Welker type guy, and as a rookie, and Lad McConkey coming in too. So he's got guys that can go over the top.
Who has that? Who
Tennessee?
has that? Will Levis has that?
Who has?
Lad
Never
McConkey's
mind.
on the Chargers.
Never mind.
Good try.
Never mind.
Dude.
You are high on Lad McConkey.
Man, I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't stop him. I shouldn't have stopped him.
You
and
should
just
have let him
go.
keep going, dude.
Fuck.
Dude, Lad
Sorry,
McConkey.
guys.
Lad
Sorry,
McConkey.
guys.
My brain goes so fast sometimes I can't keep up with it.
We're
Dude,
still-
you are so high on Lad McConkey.
I like him. I like him.
No, your brain's going slow.
I'm
That was-
nominating.
Yeah, that's fair.
If
We're
I'm the
talking-
first person to nominate, I'm putting Lad McConkey.
I'll take him.
Okay, so I think any other thing on this one. So Darnold, I think, has great upside. Bryce Young, I think, is very, very, very undervalued
Sneaky.
at 28. If whoever gets Bryce Young will be happy that they got Bryce
Yeah.
Young. Bo Nix is one that I think has a ton of hype coming out of preseason. He's going to have struggles. I think if I had to put like a term around it, I'd say that you're like, if you get him, you're a year early. If you get Bo Nix, I think you're a year early. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, double down on him and just take the one that does better, or take the one that is the starter.
Who's going to start week 1?
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I think it might be Fields.
And then Drake May, no thanks, but I mean, it's a starter in the NFL, and you need him in our league with the 2 quarterback
Is he
system.
starting?
I
Did
just
they-
don't
did
want
they-
to. I don't want
Yeah.
to
Week one
be
starter?
forced
I
to
think so.
root for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like, it's just
Yeah,
like
Drake May.
such
I
a.
do root for the Patriots.
Also,
and
we
I
didn't
don't
talk
wanna
about
root
Caleb Williams. I dislike him for some reason. I watched Hard Knocks, and like I am just like all the other people on Hard Knocks. I was like, I like all their personalities, but it felt like they were like trying to make the viewer believe that he's this like fun guy laughing on the sideline, and I just looked at it and I'm like,
Phony.
You know, you want to say Gen Z guy, right? We've said that, like he's the first Gen Z quarterback and whatever. But he just there's something about him. I'm like, I don't like him. I just get that vibe, like I'm just not in on Caleb Williams. But he might be a good football
He
player.
looks
I just don't
really
like him,
good.
the person.
Yeah.
Like,
He looks really
I
good
just
in the
I
preseason.
think that Caleb Williams has so many weapons around him
Yeah.
that
hard
like,
for him to not be good.
Yeah, it's hard for him to not be at least
I'm
like
in. I
a
buy the hype.
viable.
I buy the hype. You guys all know that I do. I buy it.
Your
Buy hype on
analysis
everybody,
your
yeah.
analysis has been like all the guys that are getting all the like the TikTok.
No,
and
not
stuff,
all of
like,
them. Not all of them.
Xavier Leggett.
No, I don't like Xavier Leggett.
You said it 20 minutes ago.
I
you
don't
liked
like.
him.
I don't like Xavier Leggett. I like Xavier Leggett.
Right. See, like, dude, it's. But you like, come on.
But I'm not
dude.
going to draft
He's
him.
behind Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen and probably 3 other guys.
Yeah,
It's
of
like,
course.
come on.
So I will say, as we wrap up quarterback here, like looking through this again, I will say this is, in my opinion, the deepest quarterback has been in a long
A
time.
long
Like,
time.
I don't
Like,
remember a time it
like,
ever was this deep.
Going into the draft saying, I'm okay if I have QB 20 and 23
As my starters.
as my 2 guys. Like,
Yeah.
I've never said that. Like, it's always
Well,
been, and it might be the same. Who knows?
It's the shift. It's the shift in the way the NFL's played too, right? Like the NFL in general has just become more of an air it out league.
Yeah.
So like every quarterback becomes viable
Because
now.
they hand
and now
out-
it's just a matter of hitting on the right
Right.
ones.
It's
But, like,
because
we're-
they hand out DPIs like candy. Like, just throw it down the field and someone's going to get a flag.
And then
out.
what also
But that
that,
doesn't help your quarterback.
No, but that's
throw
why
for
the league turned
5,000 yards.
but the other thing that
Correct.
does is it makes a lot more wide receivers viable. So
Yeah.
let's go to the wide receiver side, which because that kind of plays off the quarterback. I think there's 45 receivers
Dude,
that I would be
think
happy
there's
having
more.
on my team.
I think there's
There
more.
might be more. Yeah,
I
there
think
might be
there's more.
Start with
So
tier 1. These
again,
are-
just a reminder: our league is 4 starting wide receivers every single week, no flex, and only
Yeah.
6 bench spots. So
So
wide
what's
receiver
that,
is a
48
very
starters.
Yeah.
48 starters in our league. Yeah,
Yeah.
48.
Top 5. This is the top 5 for sure.
CeeDee Lamb just signed his new deal.
CeeDee
Just
Lamb
signed his new deal.
Just got paid today.
Today.
$100 million guaranteed. Jamar Chase just started like actually practicing. I think he was like at the facility, but not
It was
practicing.
what
Right?
it,
He
it
wasn't
was a
participating.
hold in or whatever
Yeah,
they call
yeah.
it.
He was like going there,
yeah.
just-
So that he
but
didn't
not-
get fined.
but
Dude,
not practicing.
I don't know why I'm so low on Jamar Chase.
No, I think this might be his
I'm
year.
super high on Amonra. I think I put Amonra as my like dark horse #1 overall receiver. That's not even really a dark horse. I think Amonra is going to be the #1 overall fantasy football wide receiver. Jamar Chase, I think I put him at 5 in this tier, and I would want any of these guys, but I have a sneaking suspicion that these 5 guys are going way higher than the number 6 guy.
Correct.
Like 45 versus 37 or 36.
My
Yeah.
question is: are you low on Jamar Chase or are you low on Slim Shady Joe Burrow?
I'm high on Joe Burrow.
I mean, like, just Jamar Chase is like, I
Love
just,
Joe Burrow.
I love Joe Burrow.
I
so
just-
cool. He's
I
so
have
cool.
I've never seen Jamar Chase like sustain success, and maybe I'm just not watching enough Cincinnati Bengals games to like really get a good appreciation for it. But it's like he like gets banged up, and then it's like he has
Yeah.
an off week, and then it's always
And
like
T.
an
Higgins takes over.
or Burrow gets hurt, right?
That's-
It's like there's always something, like some reason, some rationale why it's like not great. They also like don't like to pay people there in Cincinnati, so it's like this contract thing is actually I think going to be a problem because that franchise historically is like
they
the
paid
owner.
Burrow.
Why do you think they had Andy Dalton for so long? Because the owner of that franchise like wants to make money more than they want to just win, right? Jerry Jones wants to win. He's not using the Cowboys to make money. And there are, half the teams in the league want to make money and half the teams in the league want to win. And like the Dolphins are a team that want to win. The Cowboys are a team that want to win. Like a lot of these teams want to win. I'm not saying the Dolphins are going to win, but I know their owner,
And the Cowboys
Stephen
never
Ross, like wants to spend money. So, but with Cincinnati, they don't really want to. So this contract thing, I think, is a little bit more of a problem than the CeeDee Lamb contract. And the injuries and all the other background and historical stuff, I just would rather take Amonra. It just feels so much safer with the offensive line and Jared Goff. And, like, they already proved they could do it. And he's 25 years old. It's like, dude, give me Amonra.
It's also so hard with them. It's not as bad as, like, let's say, like a Seattle, but there have been times there were a few games that they both did well, but they do tend to be a team where they get on streaks of like Jamar's a stud, and then T. Higgins takes over for like 2 or 3 weeks, and he's like
Yeah.
their number one guy, and they keep throwing the ball. Granted, it's like I said, it's worse in places like Seattle where it's like you rarely saw last year like a Metcalf Lockett like freak out week. It was like Metcalf was
One or
getting
the other.
30 passes or Tyler Lockett was getting 30 passes. It was like
Yeah.
My only thing with the Cincinnati Bengals now is like I think you could see more Jamar and Higgins like both
because
going-
Mixon's gone.
because Mixon's
Mixon's
gone.
gone.
We haven't talked about tight end yet, but Gesicki is with the Bengals now, isn't he? He might be a sneaky play.
Who gives a shit?
No, I think he might be. I think he's got some potential there.
We're Dolphins fans here.
Gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit? All right, tier 2, AJ Brown. I think is a little bit overhyped. I don't know why. I have a weird feeling about it. Garrett Wilson. I think everybody loves. Puka
Down.
Little bit of a soft tissue thing, right? He's got a hamstring. Is that what it is?
No, it's a knee.
Or a
thing.
knee.
Yeah,
Okay, a little bit of an injury. I think Puka is.
I don't trust him.
Everybody loved him for $0. I don't think anybody loves him for $35. Debo is great without Ayuk. I'm less loving him at 9 with Ayuk because tier 3 is the thing I really want to talk about. But any other tier 2 things you guys want to talk about?
I think my one thing, and I said this earlier too. I like Garrett Wilson. He's a great athlete. If you're gonna take him, I feel like you have to take Aaron Rodgers with him because there's no world where they don't both succeed together.
I wouldn't mind taking Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't mind that combo.
Whoa.
That's not bad at all.
If assuming the pricing is,
but
is
like
decent
it's one of
enough.
those things. Like if you take a Monra, you don't have to take Jared Goff. Like
I
those
had
aren't.
him last
But
year. It was
like
pretty sweet.
no, it's great.
Pretty dope.
No,
I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
great, but you don't have to. It's. I feel like if
Got me to the podium.
you're buying in that the
At
Jets are
Laporta,
going to
too.
have it.
Yeah.
If you're buying in that the Jets are going to have it this year, and you're going to get Garrett Wilson, you almost like it's almost dumb to not get Aaron Rodgers
because the Jets don't have a Laporta.
correct.
It's like if
Right.
Garrett Wilson goes off, it's probably because Rodgers is still playing
Yeah.
and like is doing well.
yeah,
Well, and even if Rodgers does go down, they have a viable backup in Tyrod now.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have Zach Wilson.
Right. He
and
has,
like Garrett Wilson was good.
if
with
last
Zach
year,
Wilson.
if last year is Garrett Wilson's floor, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll take it.
that's another thing. Yeah,
Mike Evans is old. I don't love him at 10. I love him at
Dude.
20.
Love Mike Evans.
I mean,
that guy can put his foot in his mouth, dude.
He's gonna get 1,000.
he's an athlete. Dude.
I'm staring at a bunch
He's
of
gonna
dudes
get-
that can put their feet in their mouth.
He's gonna
okay?
get 1,000 yards. He's gonna get 1,000 yards receiving. So
I mean, it's the same offense. It's exactly the same as last
Exact
year.
same offense.
I see no
but
reason.
I think you're drafting him at his like
Ceiling.
peak, right? Like
You s-
that's
I
last
think
year
he was wide receiver
6.
6.
Yeah, we just looked it up.
Mhm.
here's a question that we haven't talked about yet. If Ayuk does go to Pittsburgh,
pretty sure
where
that's,
does that put him?
that's off the table, isn't it? Is that still a thing?
I don't know, but if Ayuk goes to Pittsburgh, I think Ayuk stays right around there, like wide receiver 15. I think it really just hurts
George Pickens.
Pickens more than anything.
Maybe Freiermuth too.
Yeah,
Like you're not trading for Ayuk to not use him.
Yeah.
I mean, I just the question would be,
but it
can
also
Russell
doesn't
Wilson,
make him a stud. Yeah,
But
I
can
guess.
Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields get him the ball downfield? Because that's what they do in 49erville. I don't know.
That's so like
I'm not
That's-
drafting. I will not
that's
draft
what,
Ayuk.
That's what worries me about Justin Jefferson, right? Is like
Darnold gonna chuck it.
Can Sam Darnold sustain a top end wide receiver?
I think he can.
I don't know.
If you throw it to a
Why?
guy 200, if you throw it to a guy 200 times, like
But,
But
like,
he's never done
He's
it.
never done it.
yeah, but I think
So
I
it's
think-
like I get it. Justin Jefferson can put his feet in his mouth, dude. Like I get it. The guy's a
Right.
freak
I think you're
athlete.
doing that thing.
he'll lick his. He can lick his.
I think
whole
you're doing.
toes.
I think you're doing the thing.
Also, if nobody
I just don't
listened
see-
to the last
I think
episode,
Darnold's gonna throw for
Just-
3,500 yards.
Somebody's got to catch
Somebody's
it.
got to catch it.
I think Justin Jefferson is one of those guys. Does having Sam Darnold keep him from being the wide receiver 1? Yeah, maybe. But like,
But then I don't want to pay wide receiver 1 money for him.
correct.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree
tough.
with that.
I think.
But
I
I don't
think
think. I think
if I can avoid the situation, I will.
I think
Yeah.
he's quarterback proof. Like it doesn't matter who his quarterback is. He's going to be a top 6 guy.
Yeah. So Marvin Harrison Jr. I think is so tough to take at the 11th overall pricing, but man, is he so good. Like if
So
Kyler
good.
Murray is the
Gotta have
is
him.
the
Matthew
QB1
Berry's guy.
if he's the QB1 overall, Marvin Harrison Jr. is worth wide receiver 11 money.
Yes.
But if he's not, you probably had a bad season if you drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. as your number one receiver. That's where I'm standing on in an auction draft, because you're going to have to pay $30+ to get him, and that's just tough territory.
You like Olave as your one?
I don't love Olave as my wide receiver 1. I like Olave as my wide receiver 2 a lot.
Yeah.
I'm actually higher on New Orleans this year than most people are. I watched them a lot last year, and Olave was pretty terrible, but still finished well in fantasy. Like, he was still a top 15 receiver in fantasy, and it's like, I don't think it can be worse. Like, I don't think they can be worse.
I think last year was Olave's floor.
Yeah,
I think
he's going to be just fine. And if I get him at 15 value, I'm kind of happy there.
He's a guy that I feel like could be undervalued in the draft because everybody hates New Orleans. Like, their offense is so hard to watch.
If you can steal him, you're good. I don't think he has like wide receiver 1 overall upside, because the offense is not going to support it and the quarterback won't support it. Even though Derek Carr could like chuck it up to Davante Adams, I just don't see Derek Carr getting Chris Olave enough juice to like get him up there to be like a top 3 to 5 wide receiver.
But I'd agree. I'd want him more than Metcalf.
But he could be a top 10.
Derek Carr led the league in 300-yard passing games last year.
Well, it's because they were losing 100% of the games.
Well,
The one
somebody's
thing-
got to catch him.
Yeah. The one thing I don't agree with here, I would much rather have Jalen Waddle than Olave, Metcalf, Adams. Like,
I think that
No.
that ranking here is you just go like Olave is the number 1 on his team, number 1 on his team, number 1 on his team, number 2 on his team. Right? I think that's the difference, right?
Yes.
No
get
Tyreek
that.
Hill, Jalen Waddle is like tier 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he's up here. But competing
We
with
skipped
Tyreek
over
Hill.
Drake London. He's pretty dang high on there. 12?
I don't like Drake London one
Bro,
bit.
now you got
I don't know why. I had Drake London on my team last year for like a week and was just like, get this guy off my fucking
so
team.
much different.
That's Arthur Smith ball.
But like that's
I know,
that's
but it's just
hold on.
like
that's Arthur Smith ball with who
Desmond
knows what
Ridder ball.
with
Yeah.
whatever quarterback it was. You got Kirky in a new offense.
It was
Now,
Heineke.
do I want to pay wide receiver 12 money for such a risk?
that's the problem.
No. You've literally never done it. Everybody else in tier 3 has done it.
But like, if I'm gonna take the risk, I'll take it on Marvin Harrison.
He's
I'd
gonna-
rather take the risk on Marvin Harrison than Drake London.
Right, I don't want to take the risk on either of them at 11, 12. I
Yeah.
want to take the risk on them at 17, 18.
Yeah.
The problem is you're not going to have the luxury of it.
Correct.
The problem
Right.
is Harrison he's going to get the hype money. So he might bump up even into the tier 2 money.
The real
You have no idea what's going to
The
happen.
real
with
question
him.
is, do you want Harrison for $7 more than Drake London? That's the real debate, and I
I
don't
don't want
know.
either of them.
I know. I think you kind of have
I
to
don't
say
want
no to
either of 'em.
both. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a weird one.
It's another one, and again, like Cooper Kupp, if he can stay healthy, he'll definitely beat. I think he will beat this like wide receiver 20 projection.
I don't know.
Like
I
I
don't-
think.
I don't know. I don't know.
If Cooper Kupp beats wide receiver 20 projection and Puka is a top 10,
No.
then I'm all in on Stafford.
I don't. Well,
the reason
it's one or the other. It's
Like
one or the other.
Puka and Cooper Kupp are both so high because it's like you're betting on like the other guy to not be it. So
Mhm.
like everybody
Right.
who's buying Cooper Kupp at 20 is like, that's because Puka's not 8.
Correct.
And everybody that's buying Puka at 8 is like, Cooper Kupp's washed or whatever. Like, it's Puka's time. Like you're really, what you're doing is fading the other guy
Yeah.
more than buying that guy.
Yep.
You're buying the offense and you're buying
Correct.
Stafford and like, but you just don't want, you just assume the other guy's going to regress or something.
But then this is what we were talking about with the depth. Like, look at what you got in 4.
Yeah, let's go to 4.
Like 4 and 5.
I'd
are
rather
like-
have Kupp. Last thing here.
Ugh.
I'd rather have Kupp as my wide receiver 2 than Puka as my wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
That's where I'm getting at with
So
that.
Amari Cooper, I think this is good value at 21. Devonta Smith, I'm fine at 22. Malik Neighbors feels like he's on the hype train. He's on the social media. Everybody loves him. How the hell do you justify a New York Giants receiver?
Agreed. And I just said I freaking hate Daniel Jones, and I would put him as a tier 7 quarterback.
Yeah.
But like,
pretty
I like Malik. I'm not going to draft him.
Any other
that's my
team.
declaration. I will not draft Malik Neighbors. But I like Malik Neighbors because I do watch a lot of college football, and like I watched him play a lot.
Yeah.
And like,
if you have like
if he was on any other team
Any other
other than
team.
the Giants,
if you have AJ Brown as your wide receiver 1, you have Jalen Waddle as your wide receiver 2. I don't hate Malik Neighbors as my wide receiver 3. The question is
I do.
at 23 on tier 4, is he's probably going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay wide receiver 2 money, and I don't know, like you really need him. It's just like Marvin Harrison Jr. You're paying.
I'll
up
take
for
my
like,
chances with George Pickens.
Yeah, go to Pickens or Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the reason Neighbors is higher than them is
Or
because
even
it's like
Tank Dell.
You got Tank Dell. You got Zay Flowers.
you kind of assume that you know the ceiling on Higgins, Pickens, Dell, and Pittman, and so you go Neighbors' ceiling is probably higher. Its floor is also way lower.
Mm-hmm.
That's a ceiling floor play, and when it's your third receiver, I'm fine with a boom bust.
Well, George Pickens' floor in 1 week is 0.1 because he scored that for me last
Been
year.
there. Mm-hmm.
So
I think
he had
Pickens,
21 yards and a fumble.
I think Pickens has a higher. I think
Pickens.
Pickens has a higher floor, but Arthur Smith is in
Right.
Pittsburgh. So
Right. It's George Pickens, Drake London now.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
But
out,
then-
out on Pickens.
Here's another thing in this tier. You know, Stroud's got all the hype, but when you come to the wide receiver side of it, all these guys are like the same. You know, you've got a kind of older, maybe slightly washed Diggs. You've got Tank Dell, good athlete, but
Suck it.
I want the cheapest Houston receiver I
Yeah.
can get.
Yeah.
Because who know? I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
I don't even know.
you know, Trey pointed this out the other day. You know, Vegas's betting lines on all the Houston receivers, all their over-unders, 750.
It was
Every
like
single one?
every single one
All
of them
three
was
of them.
like 750
wow.
yards, and I think it was 4.5 touchdowns for Diggs, 4.5 touchdowns for Dell, and 5.5 touchdowns for
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins. I want to
Yeah.
say that's what it was. Maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say it was like right around there. And so you looked at them and they went, "Wow, Vegas thinks they're all kind of the same, and they're all kind of not great." Like 750 and 4 touchdowns is not winning my fantasy football league type
Correct.
numbers. So
I think that's
so-
more of a they don't know
but if
who's
you can-
going to do it.
right, but they're still setting. They're still setting the odds. So why would you take Nico Collins over Stephon Diggs?
No, correct.
My thing is, I'll just take the cheapest guy.
I'm saying like I don't think that necessarily makes Stroud not a good option. I think it's just they don't know someone's going to do it. I don't think they just
Yeah, I'm
have,
not
they
saying-
have
We're
no
not
idea
saying-
who's going
We're
to do
not
it.
saying
I'm not-
Stroud's not a good option.
Yeah, I'm not
I know.
fading.
If every one of them goes for exactly 750, Stroud had a great year.
Yeah, I'm not fading Stroud.
That's fair.
I'm saying give me the cheapest
It's
of the
only
Houston
2,200
receivers.
yards.
Give me the cheapest Houston receiver, and I'm happy there.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is going to catch some. Joe Mixon will have some checkdowns.
Rushy Rice is an interesting one. The reason he's so low is because of the potential suspension that's looming.
I thought they were past that. They're like,
Yeah, I thought they said he wasn't getting suspended.
That's what everybody's
Till
saying, but I
next
think
year.
that's
I don't know.
why he's been so low. I think he's staying low.
with the Hollywood
I'm-
Brown injury.
I am out on Rasheed Rice and I'm stashing Hollywood on my bench.
That's weird. I'm in on Rasheed Rice.
yeah, I'm the opposite.
If Rasheed Rice isn't getting suspended, I'm way in on Rasheed
I'm
Rice.
in on Rasheed Rice and I'm out on Hollywood
Yeah,
Brown.
I think Rasheed Rice is like he's not Amon-Ra because Amon-Ra was like wide receiver like 15 preseason last year or something like that, or 12, maybe like around 12. Rasheed Rice is 30, so it's a lot lower. But I kind of see it like a receiver that really has some pretty high upside. I mean, if you love Pat Mahomes and he actually becomes the wide receiver one in the offense, like at a distance
Yeah.
beyond everybody else, dude. I mean, he has the sky's the limit.
And he
When
can
it's like
catch
the
the ball.
Hollywood Brown thing, right? Like it took Rasheed Rice a while last year to get going with Pat Mahomes. You think Hollywood's going to come back from an injury and just automatically click?
No, that's why you stash him.
And is Hollywood?
What do you mean that's why you stash him? You could be out of the freaking league.
Yeah, it's true. You could be out.
I don't think it's going to take that long.
I also like.
Isn't it a
He's out
soft?
for- he's
Isn't
out
it
for
a
6 weeks.
Soft issue? Is it a hamstring?
no, I thought they said he's gonna be back. Who for
I thought
Hollywood
he
Brown?
had.
Yeah.
I thought
It's a
I thought
shoulder
they said
thing.
6 weeks.
Oh.
It's a shoulder thing. I think they say
I'll have to
he
look
might
at
be
it. I
back.
thought it was like 3 or 4.
But if you look at
4 to
Rasheed
6,
Rice,
I think.
like I like Zay Flowers also. I don't see the same upside in Zay Flowers as I see in Rasheed Rice.
Correct.
Like and the same with Terry McLaurin. They traded Dotson. They got rid of Samuel, and so everybody's like super high on Terry, super high on Terry. I'm not there, right? It's like Jaden Daniels wants to run the ball. The Baltimore Ravens want to run the ball. Rasheed Rice can't see he's gonna throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
what they
it's
do.
like if everybody's kind of fading Kelsey a little bit this year, they're like a little bit lower. Well, then you got to be a little bit higher on somebody. Are you just lower on the Kansas City Chiefs just for no reason? Like why would Mahomes regress? He's gonna find somebody. If you don't think it's Kelsey, it has to be somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. I think whoever gets Rasheed Rice will be happy. That's what I think.
Man, it's wide receivers deep.
And then you go to
It's so
tier,
deep.
We're
bro.
in
It's
tier 5.
insane.
This
It's
is
so deep.
this is
It's
wide
insane.
receiver-
five. I'm like, I'll take 4 of these guys.
This is wide receiver
Oh, man.
32 overall. Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Jaden Reed, Keenan Allen.
Christian Kirk is an interesting one. Is Christian Kirk the first Jags receiver that's on this list?
Yes.
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 Yeah, Christian Kirk is an interesting one. Like I had Christian Kirk last year. I really enjoyed having him.
High floor, low ceiling.
He's
He's your. If you get him as your wide receiver 4, you're in a perfect position. If you get him as your wide receiver 2, you're a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be great.
Like these guys, man. If I had any of these guys as my wide receiver 4, I'd be like.
I mentioned Calvin Ridley
Pretty
in
fired
Tennessee.
up.
Like I think there's a higher ceiling on the Tennessee offense than people
Yeah.
think. I think it could be coming. I think
Even these
Tennessee-
guys as a wide receiver 3 is fine.
No, they're all good.
Yeah,
They're all
yeah,
great
yeah.
wide receiver 3s. I think.
Yeah.
I'm good with all of them. Jaden Reed has pretty high upside.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's an interesting one. Chicago. Let's talk about Chicago for a second. You got Keenan Allen in this tier. You got DJ Moore in tier 2, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you got Roma Dunze also in this tier.
Looked good in preseason.
I don't know who I'm taking. You have to bet on DJ Moore because he just got paid. You don't want to go too overly aggressive on Rome because he's a rookie, he has to learn the offense. So I'm thinking that Keenan Allen is probably the number 2 and that Rome's probably the number 3. But like I don't know who I'm paying up for. Because am I trusting Caleb Williams to feed 3 mouths?
Right.
No. So then it goes back to the Houston argument, which is like if Caleb Williams could do what CJ Stroud did last year, who has the upside? Well, Nico had the upside when Tank Dell was done, right? So it's like on this Chicago team, when Keenan Allen gets a hamstring, because he gets one every year, other than last year, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Rome or is it DJ Moore that has like crazy upside? I think I'd rather have Rome as my wide receiver 4 awaiting a Keenan Allen pulled hamstring than be betting high on DJ Moore because I think you're going to have to pay up for it. So like I'm actually like a little bit higher on Rome because Rome, Malik Neighbors, and Marvin Harrison Jr. were all kind of studs at the top of that draft, and like you're paying $30+ for Marvin Harrison Jr. and you can probably get Rome for
$12.
Wasn't
10
Yeah.
or 12. It's like
wasn't Worthy the guy that everybody was hyped on, and then they had the videos come out of him just getting bullied in training camp.
I would never draft Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy got drafted solely because he ran the fastest 40 time.
I would
ever.
never draft Xavier Worthy for one reason. Andy Reid never has rookie receivers that play early and good and fast. Like Rashee Rice, it took him a while. Like every single one of the dudes that Andy Reid gets, it takes them a while. So Xavier Worthy is in the same bucket of if you draft him, it's 1 year early, and then all of next year you'll be like, I should have waited till this year to get him.
Yeah.
Like I don't think this is Xavier Worthy's year. Now it does help that Hollywood Brown's out, but I think 39. I'm more so like, can I get him for a couple of bucks, and stash him on my bench and see what happens? And if I have money, I'll pay 5 or 6 or 7. But really, I want to get him for $2 or $3 and stash him on my bench. But I think people will at this point people will be desperate for receiver, and he will go for some good money because people are going to be hoping that he's wide receiver 2, so they're going to just pay more money. Think like what I mean? Like they're going to push the money out there to get the guy because they're going to try to force him into their lineup. And it's like, I want the upside of a young rookie so fast in that offense. Like it was Sky Moore 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
It was like the same kind of thing. Now Xavier Worthy's better than Sky Moore, but same kind of concept.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson I didn't mention. Couldn't be further out on the Carolina Panthers. I don't like them.
Packers are tough.
I like
I'm talking about the right under him, Jaden Reed,
I
Christian
like-
Watson.
I like
Talking
Deontay.
about Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
No,
I was
I
like,
like-
bro,
you've
no
got
way you
Jaden-
just named 2
No.
wrong. Like the team's listed next
No,
to
yeah.
it.
You've got Jaden Reed and Christian Watson there, and everybody's hyped up on Jordan Love, and it's a tough offense to read. Like,
It's funny because Jordan Love was a top 10 fantasy QB last year.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed had a nice little breakout. Christian Watson was hurt. I think that if Jordan Love is going to finish top 7 quarterback, that Christian Watson is the guy that has to do it. Christian Watson has to become the Devontae Adams
Right.
of that offense. So I'm betting on Watson more than I'm betting on Jaden Reed.
Right.
But I really like Jaden Reed. I'd be happy with both of them.
I like Deontay Johnson in a PPR format this
Yeah.
year. Like I think they brought him in and they said, look, this guy gets wide open all the time, and he's gonna every week have like 9 catches for 72 yards.
yeah, 50 yards.
And it's like if my wide receiver 4 is getting me 7 points a week, I'd be very happy.
Didn't he
Yeah.
do
If
that
my wide receiver like 3, I'd be like,
on
could be
Pittsburgh?
better.
Didn't he do that? Didn't he have like 4 catches for like 3 yards?
Probably. I don't
Probably
know.
at some point, yeah.
But I
That was
also
last year you wanted him because he had no
because he didn't
touchdowns.
score any touchdown. And then what did he do this year? Outscored George Pickens.
Both irrelevant.
Christian Watson. I think if I had my choice of a Green Bay wide receiver, I think I would want him. Yeah, I know he's an injury risk, but I think like if he can stay healthy, he's going to be the best guy.
Yeah.
But I think I want a Green Bay receiver.
Cortland Sutton. I flip a coin on Cortland Sutton every day. One day I'm in, one day I'm out. I don't know if I'm in or out.
No Jerry Jeudy.
No Jerry Jeudy. Positive.
Rookie quarterback.
Rookie quarterback. Negative.
Rookie quarterback who only checks down.
Sean Payton. Positive. Rookie quarterback only checks down because apparently that was what they told him to do. I mean, who tells their quarterback to check down all game? It's so weird. I can't decide on Cortland Sutton, but hard to imagine him playing worse than he did last year. And I don't think he finished wide receiver 43 last year. I want to say he finished like in the top 30 of wide receivers. I want to say because I had him on my team, and like every week you're like, God, I mean, like I can't bench him. He's scoring points.
Mm-hmm.
They're peppering him. Judy sucked. And it's like he was actually consistent in catching touchdowns. Like it felt like he was like always grabbing a touchdown for whatever reason. So it's like if Bo Nix is going to succeed, it has to be through Cortland Sutton, right? Like, is there anybody else he's going to succeed through? I don't think so.
I just see that Denver offense just being like Chad Henne Dolphins. Like
I know, but it's like it's got Sean Payton, and you have a rookie quarterback that can actually throw the ball and like should be a good enough quarterback. They can't support a better receiver than 43. In a Sean Payton offense, they had Marquise Colston, a 7th rounder that's like wide receiver 10 or something. Like it's like. And Cortland Sutton is actually good at football. He's not a bad football player. He's like 6'4". Like he's a good football player.
Big dude.
So it's an interesting. I don't know. I flip a coin on Cortland a lot. I probably get him on my team because I'm the Cortland Sutton guy. Last year I drafted him. I don't know if you guys remember, but somebody bid 4 and I accidentally pressed bid and I got him for 5 and I was very angry. I needed that. I needed that.
I bet you into that.
I was very. You didn't bet me into it. I accidentally pressed the button, Cardwell. As soon as I pressed the
I
button,
I made you do it. I tapped your arm and you made you do
like,
it.
I was price enforcing.
I pressed the button. And I was like, no, I didn't mean to press it because, like, you know how like on your laptop. That's why I want to have a mouse and a keyboard because I was moving my. I was like, okay. I didn't want my cursor anywhere near the bid button, so I was like moving my cursor out of the way, and my finger pressed the button. It's like a nightmare scenario.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I ended up with Cortland Sutton last year.
So that takes us into tier 6 here. This is about where it cuts off, right? I think I cut it off. Jameson Williams, you know.
Are we specifically talking about your wide receiver 4 here? I mean, obviously in this tier, like yes,
right.
Like you're not. None of these guys are stretching to your wide. If you're stretching to these guys for your wide receiver 3, you're in big trouble.
Oh, right. But even like then, I want to. I don't take anybody in this list as my wide receiver 4. Like I think I cut it off, like at JSN. Like
well, there has to be 48 people that start.
So. Right. But like I want to be the 47th one.
Yeah. Got it.
Don't sleep on McConkey.
Here's where we're at.
I don't want McConkey. Keon Coleman.
Wrong.
Like he's a freak athlete. I just don't like it. But I think
I don't like Keon Coleman.
If I was taking a Bills wide receiver,
shut up.
I don't like Keon Coleman.
You're a Florida State guy.
I am a Florida State guy,
like Keon Coleman.
and I watched him.
Okay, then don't get him.
Florida
Don't
State.
bid.
I won't.
Don't bid
I
on
won't
him.
bid on him.
This is the Darren Waller moment right now.
I will not bid on Keon Coleman.
I like Keon Coleman.
I don't want him. He was.
But I think Curtis Samuel or Khalil Shakir. I think I'd rather have one of those two.
But look, is Keon Coleman not the number 1 Buffalo receiver on this list?
He is.
Yes. Okay. The 49th player on the board. You don't think Josh Allen, the number 1 quarterback, can support a receiver better than the 49th receiver?
I don't think it's Keon Coleman.
It's like unless Dalton Kincaid is the next Larry Zonka. I don't know. Like, I mean, if it could be Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel. They've shown you what they can do. Keon Coleman hasn't. If I'm bidding on one of the 3, I'm taking Keon Coleman because they should be on my bench anyway. They shouldn't be starting on my team anyway. But I want the upside. I don't see Shakir and Samuel's massive upside like Coleman. You're shaking your head. I know you're thinking the same thing. Like, shut up. Keon Coleman, that is the deal. That's the Keon Coleman.
I'll tell you what, well, we can probably get to running back soon, but the one thing that's super interesting to me, not just bias, but Gabe Davis at a 60. Like, if you're going to put somebody on your bench that, you know,
No, Brandon Cooks, dog.
Gabe Davis sucks balls, dude. That guy
Brandon
stinks.
Cooks, bro.
Yeah, but Gabe Davis is a different piece that the Jags don't have. They don't.
What?
Have,
He's a
that's
straight runner. That's what Calvin Ridley was.
Yeah,
but
Trevor doesn't throw a great deep ball.
Yeah, I think that you got a little bit of Jack's bias. I think the deal with Gabe Davis is he's a worse version of Calvin Ridley. If Trevor Lawrence got better at throwing the deep ball, then maybe there's something there. But like, if everything stays the same, he should just be like slightly worse than Calvin Ridley.
I don't agree with that because Calvin Ridley, once they found out that if you hit him at the line, he couldn't get off the ball.
Gabe
he
Davis
was
is
worthless.
smaller.
Yeah, but he gets off the
He
ball,
is?
man. He gets off the ball.
Then Calvin Ridley.
You don't have any idea if he gets off the ball.
He gets.
Is there anybody else?
He gets on
off the
base.
ball, dude.
He gets on base.
Before we go on to running back, is there anybody else in a wide receiver room that you want to talk about? Anybody here?
No, because now we're in
Brandon Cooks,
No,
baby.
now we're
Yeah.
now we're in secret
Are
mode.
there any of these guys?
I don't want you guys to know that I'm drafting Quentin Johnson.
You guys have sleepers?
Malachi Corley.
Anybody have sleepers? Traylon Burks? That's Trey's guy. Trey loves Traylon Burks.
Oh,
Mingo
God.
mania.
All right.
Brandon Cooks.
So
dude.
I think we all agree. So now we've looked at quarterback, wide receiver. I think we're all in agreement. Those are the two deepest positions, which means don't spend up in those positions.
I know.
Right? Get the cheaper guys
But-
and save your money for the less deep positions like the running backs.
So in our league, running back is automatically less valuable than every other league. So if everybody's like, why don't you guys think running backs are important? The reason is because there's only two of them, and there's so much more of every other position, and it's not a PPR format, so running backs just aren't super valuable. But for the right price,
this year they might be.
this year they might be.
So McCaffrey, Brees Hall, Bijan. I don't know. The running back one has like never repeated as running back one like ever in the history of football, fantasy football. But McCaffrey is like
the greatest candidate to do
so much better than everybody.
Yeah.
Like
He's-
so
it.
much
He's
better.
the
than
greatest candidate to do it.
If you're superstitious, you don't draft Christian McCaffrey. If you have a brain,
If you're a
you
little
do.
stitious,
Yeah.
If you're only a little
slightly
stitious,
stitious.
then
like there's too many things that are all point to you have to draft him
Like
that it's like
Yeah, like
just
you know,
draft him.
you know,
and be-
you know how you said, "Oh, if you draft this guy, you'll be a year early," kind of thing. Like I was a year early, even though McCaffrey was number one. I got him number one, but it's like everybody's so high on him. So like last year, I got him at I think a better value than what he'll go for this year.
McCaffrey.
I think
is
he will
like-
go for more money than what I bought him for last year.
If you, what did he go? Do you remember what he went for last year?
I think it was like 41.
I don't remember. Yeah, 41 sounds right. McCaffrey is like, he's like a cheat code to make the playoffs. It's like if McCaffrey's on your,
No, he's not. No, he's
you
not.
didn't have him on your team the whole year.
Yeah, I traded him after I was already
Yeah.
0-5.
he definitely didn't get him to the playoffs. That's true. That's a fact.
Was he the RB1
It's-
after 5 weeks?
Yes.
Because he spent
By far.
and he only spent $48 on him.
No, I think it was like 41, 42.
Oh, was it 41?
Yeah,
Might-
it was
might-
like
so
low
good.
40s.
might have been 41.
So good.
I think so. It's like you spent 41, you got the best running back, and it still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Which shows you
That's interesting.
that you
'cause Brooks
can't
made
spend
the
money.
playoffs with him, and Brooks sucks. So
didn't win.
Brooks
Didn't make a
he
postseason.
didn't win.
never won.
No. Having McCaffrey is not a
But it's
guarantee you're going
easy.
to win the league.
It's easy to.
But
It's
it's
easy
like-
to
It's
pass
not a
him
guarantee
up.
you're going to make the playoffs.
It's easy to
It's
pass
pretty
him
darn
up
close.
when you've got Brees Hall right behind him and Bijan right behind. Like, there's a,
I
think-
was
think-
I was 0-5 abs last year, by the way. I was 0-5. My first 3 picks were McCaffrey, Saquon, and Lamar.
Yeah.
I know that's
He
poor
did.
man- poor management,
He
man.
did the studs and scrubs
Couldn't,
strategy.
Speaking of
couldn't
that-
hype him up.
Terrible team management.
speaking of that,
Kenny
I-
Pickett is my
yeah.
QB2.
Everybody, stop talking over each other, please.
yeah,
Jesus,
Speaking of that, I love me some Saquon this year.
too old.
I couldn't be more out on
He
Saquon.
passed. He passed the 26-year-old peak.
How much? Seriously, McCaffrey. How much more is how much is the gap from McCaffrey to Brees Hall going to be?
I
Is
think
it going to be
McCa-
over under $10?
No, less. I think
Yeah.
McCaffrey goes for 40,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that Brees Hall goes for 34 or 35.
Wow,
That's what I think.
that's a lot. But
A lot of a gap or a lot of money.
no,
to spend
that's a
on-
lot of money. But like, there's only like 10 running backs here that are good.
Yeah, so McCaffrey, Brees Hall, Bijan. I think we agree those are in tier 1.
Yeah.
I put Christian McCaffrey 1A
In
and
his own
Bijan and
tier.
Brees in 1B. And then Jonathan Taylor goes 4, Derrick Henry's 5. Everybody loves Derrick Henry.
Old as shit.
I love him. But
I like
I'm
him
not
all.
spending. I don't want to spend more than like $22 on him. And
I don't even know if I'd spend that.
I know it's like I don't want to spend $22
Every one of these
on
guys
him.
is going to go for more than that.
I know. I'm saying I don't want to spend $22 on him because you're drafting him at his ceiling. Like you're drafting him at RB5. I don't think he finishes any higher than RB5.
He's 31.
He's older than Todd Gurley.
He's older than Todd Gurley, dude.
It's ridiculous. Jahmyr
Crazy.
Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams, Isaiah Pacheco. I think I agree with all those. I think Jahmyr Gibbs.
He's got a hamstring thing.
I think he's. But I think you're.
I like Jahmyr
If
Gibbs.
you're talking value, well, you're a
Lions
Detroit
fan.
fan.
Yeah.
You're a Lions
Surprising
fan.
you're in on Lions and Dolphins
Gabe-
And Jags.
Yeah, Gabe Davis and
Whoa.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs has the most potential to be a steal in that tier 2. I think everybody else is going to be pretty hyped. Kyron Williams is always potential for a West Coast bias, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs, you might be able to get him for a steal.
The reason I like him is because I think that he separates himself from Montgomery this year.
And Montgomery has passed the peak age season, which was last year. So just something to think about. ETN
didn't
is
know that.
10 in tier 3. Devon Achane, I am so upset that Devon Achane is running back 11. Mac has already texted me Devon Achane's name, so I know that Mac is.
Oh, Mac's getting him for sure.
Mac.
Remember, we were on. I think it was like the first week Mac had Achan, or maybe it was the second week. And we were on your bachelor party cruise, and Achan went off. He was going off,
Yeah.
and Mac was like, oh, he was so fired up. Mac will have. I guarantee. This is my prediction of what's going to happen.
Okay.
Mac will leave the draft with Anthony Richardson and Devon Achane.
Wow, that's wild.
He loved Richard. He had Richardson, loved Richardson before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He had Achane and fucking loved. And it was like I was trying to get Achane. I remember I was trying to get him for like $1 at the very end of the draft. I already had Mostert. I was like, oh, let me get Achane too. And Trey was like, oh man, that guy's really fucking good. And then Mac bit him up.
I was so mad I didn't have money. Remember, I was so mad, and I was like, dude, he's gonna be such a stud. And then Mac was like, all right, well, I have money. I'll just bid 2 to piss off Mac.
Right.
He had no idea who the guy was. Had no idea.
Didn't even know what team he was on.
I really wanted him last year.
My bold prediction: Mac won't know half the people that get nominated.
Yeah.
No, Mac said he actually has like a list of players. He said he has this is the most prep he's ever done in his life. So
Oh, wow.
I think people are really preparing this year. All right, continuing. Kenneth Walker is a low Michigan State.
Yep.
Kenneth Walker is a West Coast bias guy. I think
Yep.
it's a good value for 12. Josh Jacobs, I think Josh Jacobs is being disrespected at
Yes.
13.
I would be completely pumped if I walked away with Ken Walker and Josh Jacobs as my 2 running backs.
Seriously, I draw a line
That's a
right at
great
Josh.
team.
I draw the line at Josh Jacobs. Like I those two are the bottom of the people that could finish in the top 3. I don't think anybody after them could finish in the top 3. But if you said Ken Walker and Josh Jacobs are RB2 and 3, I wouldn't be surprised at all at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I would not. I wouldn't.
I
be
don't
shocked.
understand the Rashad White hype.
I think it was just like last year he like got a shit ton of carries.
Yeah, but he
and
sucked.
he got so many carries and then
Yeah, but he wasn't good.
His
They didn't
yards
with the
per
carries.
carry.
but I
is
don't think they
dog
really
shit.
brought in another. I think it was like he got a ton of carries and then they didn't really bring in another
They
running
drafted
back.
one from
Yeah, but-
Oregon,
Yeah, they have a rookie running
Who
back.
Bucky Irving.
Yeah, Bucky Irving.
is he?
He's a stud.
Yeah,
he
you need to
good?
do a little bit more research.
Yeah, do a little more research, bud.
Yeah, Bucky
I
Irving.
really
is
haven't done any.
That's the reason.
Can we also talk about this? Will be our first year of this is a dad podcast, right? This will be our first year where all of us are dads being fantasy football managers.
I know, and I missed the playoffs
This is
last
my-
year. I can only imagine.
This is my second year as a fantasy football manager father. I finished on the podium in my first season as a dad. So
This is my 3rd year. I was 11 wins from the regular season.
This is my first year, and I have never done less research in my life.
and you only care about the Bears and the.
It
and
really shows because you like Hard Knocks, Bears, Jags, Lions,
And
Dolphins, Texans.
Didn't you say you put? Didn't you-
and Will Levis apparently
Did
has
you?
McConkey as a wide receiver.
and Lad McConkey's on the Titans.
that was an accident.
Didn't you? Was it who put the future bet on the Texans or you put the future
I did.
bet? Yeah,
I haven't put in any of my bets yet
All my futures bets are on the Dolphins.
because I don't know anybody.
nice.
All right, continuing. David Montgomery, aged season, but man, that's good value. At 17,
Yeah,
I think he is potential, especially with a little bit of a tweak on Jahmyr Gibbs, potential to be great value if he drops any further. At 17, I think you're getting him right at a good number, but like 17 in our league, dude, you're talking like, I don't know, $10. You might be able to get Montgomery for under $10. It's like, dude, if you can get him for $9, shoosh, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And then Connor, that's another one. You get him for $9, I'm pretty happy there.
I like James Conner.
If I had Montgomery and Connor as my running backs for $20, I'm not terribly pissed.
And like even somebody up there,
below.
Najee.
Nope.
With Arthur Smith.
With Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
I'm in on Najee. And Jalen Warren's hurt, right? Jalen Warren.
Yeah. I'm not completely out on Najee.
Yeah,
like he's rushed for 1,000 yards every year. So like he's just not fun to watch because like when he would run the ball, it was 2 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards.
If Justin
there
Fields
was never like a breakaway moment.
If Justin Fields is starting, I'm big in on Najee because a running quarterback opens it up for a running back because that defensive end has to respect that zone read or whatever the heck they call it nowadays. Like I like Najee.
Yeah,
I like him. Ramondre. No,
I don't want any Patriots. I cannot say it any louder.
It's gonna be a rough year.
Grabbing Mostert is I mean, it's gonna be great for somebody, and whoever gets him, probably Sturmer, is just gonna be like
Sturmer won't get him.
Like Sturmer's gonna get like Mostert, Aaron Jones, and Zamir White, and they're all gonna be like studs. It's like that's just like how it always works. He's gonna spend $15 on him. DeAndre Swift. You got any thoughts on DeAndre Swift?
I like him.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, of course.
I actually like. I was saying it before we did this. I like Brian Robinson this year. Like I said, for $7, for $6, whatever the running back 26.
Yeah.
Only because we talked about the Cliff Kingsbury. Like I think I just want a lot of
Yeah.
I don't think I want to come out of the draft with Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin and Brian Robinson. But I think if I did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I want pieces of a Kingsbury offense.
If you have Brian Robinson, I think you have to stack with Eckler. You have to stack with Eckler because there's a chance that one of them emerges as the goal line back and they become the viable fantasy option. And it could be Eckler.
But I think the other thing, what was it? The other thing, the running backs coach in Washington is Anthony Lynn, maybe? I think that sounds right. And he was the running backs coach with the Chargers with Eckler, and Eckler was like not getting goal line carries.
But wasn't Eckler like a top 5 running back with him?
He was like a massive part of the offense.
Yeah, but not on the goal line. He was scoring long receiving touchdowns and stuff like that. But
what's better than a short touchdown,
dude.
A long touchdown?
Nah, dude, nah.
What? You're literally saying
Is this back to the I want him because he doesn't score touchdowns?
Right? What are you saying?
I don't want Eckler.
I want the guy that scores the short touchdown.
I think Eckler's washed. He's past his age.
Right, but you're getting him for $1 or $2. If you gav Brian Robinson, you're the only person who really wants him or needs him or has a use for him.
I don't handcuff my team. I handcuff other people's teams. I want other people's handcuffs to force them into trades with me. I don't want my own handcuffs.
I mean, there's something to that.
All right, moving on. Javonte Williams is
golly, this is a bad group of people.
Speaking of disrespect, Nick Chubb, dude.
Yeah,
that guy could squat 600 pounds.
Nick Chubb. All right, quick predictions on Nick Chubb. How much does he go for?
$10.
No way.
Yeah.
7.
8.
I was gonna say 7.
7?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say 8. You got 8, 7,
I think
7,
it
8,
double
10.
digits.
I would not be shocked at all if he went for.
I think it depends on when he's nominated.
When he's nominated, right? If he gets nominated as the 36th running back.
If he's nominated early, when people have money, somebody will buy him because like, dude, he's gonna come back and he's gonna be the guy.
I think.
So
Kyle Westwood is gonna.
Brooksy will draft his team and be like, dude, Chubb's gonna. If you nominate him early, Brooksy will say, I'm gonna need him down the stretch, even though he's not going to.
Down the stretch.
But that's another great example. Like, if you took the Jerome Ford Nick Chubb combo, you could have that might be the two of them together could be a top 12 running back. Mm-hmm. Like Jerome Ford for 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and then Chubb after that. Like maybe Jerome Ford gets hurt right around the same time. Like you could come up with a scenario where we're playing those two guys ends up with top 12 running back.
But you've also
points.
got what, Deonta Foreman?
Yeah, Deonta Foreman. Yeah, that's the poor man's boss.
Boss light.
That's boss light. That's Derrick
Deonta Foreman could snake some goal line.
That's
carries,
Derrick
I guess,
Henry, little Derrick Henry.
But Jerome Ford looked good last year.
Have you guys looked at anything into like the Cincinnati running backs, like this Chase Brown, Zach Moss thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
who knows? It's they say
Chase
that they say
Brown,
Chase
right?
Brown looks like the guy,
yeah.
but like who knows? I
What
mean,
about this?
I could see Cincinnati never running the ball.
Is Zeke gonna eat again?
No,
Back in
Dallas.
No.
No,
Is
Is
Dallas
Zeke gonna take a dip in the Salvation Army pot one more time?
No,
I mean,
how old is Zeke now?
one more time. Yes, I think he scores a touchdown this year.
he's like
I don't know how old he is. Who's
It'll
the
be
other
on
guy?
Thanksgiving.
Rico Dowdle.
Dowdle's the guy.
You know what I saw today? I saw that Dalvin Cook was heading over to Dallas to meet up with Jerry Jones.
So that means don't take a running back in Dallas. If
Yeah,
if they're
dude.
interviewing him, that means they don't believe in any
Yeah.
running back. It just means go get CeeDee Lamb, really. And it means get Brandon Cooks, to Robo's point earlier. He snuck that in there. All right, let's go up. Let's talk about tight ends. I don't think we need to talk about running back 50.
This is if you're gonna pay up anywhere, I think this is the spot to do it. That's
yeah, or tight end.
right, or tight end.
In our league, we have 2 starting tight ends. It's not PPR. This position is very valuable in our league, and historically, people that have the top tight end do very, very, very well. Unlike the people that have the top running back.
Mm-hmm.
I think the correlation to top tight end to playoffs is much higher than the correlation to top running back to playoffs.
Yes,
So-
that's true.
My tier 1 is Laporta, Kelsey, Andrews, McBride, and Kittle. I think I kind of throw in there, and then everybody else. And it depends. Obviously, if Ayuk's back, Kittle comes down. I think McBride's going to be big because I'm big on Kyler. Mark Andrews, Kelsey, and Laporta, obviously. And then my 1A, 1B with Laporta, Kelsey, I'm probably bidding more money on Kelsey, if I'm being completely honest.
Really?
If I have to,
Laporta versus Kelsey, I would take Kelsey first.
if you said like I'll trade you Kelsey for Laporta, I think I would keep Kelsey. Yeah, I think I would keep Kelsey. And I would bet on
I
that.
agree, and I think Laporta going at tight end 1. It's like he scored like 11 touchdowns last year or something
Mhm.
like that. Like
Right.
that's
And if he
That's
only
a
if he
lot.
only regresses to like 8 or like 7 or 8, it's still a good season.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
still a really good season.
right, but it's like
it's not tight end 1.
not
not tight
enough.
end 1.
Can we
My
just talk
only-
about if Kyle Pitts doesn't do it this year, he's never going to do it.
Yes,
I'm-
I agree.
I'm-
I'm out on Kyle
Yeah,
Pitts.
I'm out
I'm
on
so
Kyle
out
Pitts.
on Kyle
Yeah,
Pitts.
like
I'm
he's
so out on
yeah.
If you're betting on somebody in Atlanta, it's Drake London. Kincaid, I think Kincaid is
I
a
like
better
Kincaid.
is a better play than Laporta. I'd rather have Kincaid.
I think
than
Kincaid's
Laporta.
a better player than Keon Coleman.
What's up?
Oh, sure you do.
Shocker.
Meanwhile, you're bidding up Keon Coleman.
I'm a little nervous about Kelsey because I feel like towards the end of last year, like the Chiefs did have some success, and they just kind of like load management Kelsey towards the end, like and
Yeah,
just
right when
sit-
I got him.
just hold him till the playoffs. So I fear they could do that again. Like I do think they have. I still don't think they have elite weapons in the receivers that they have, but they're definitely better than
Who knows though? You can't.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
I'm not drafting because
Um,
they might load manage my guy in the fantasy football playoffs.
I'll
Like-
tell you who I'm surprised is so low for the wrong reasons. I think TJ Hawkinson,
What?
because they have Darnold, who doesn't really,
Hold on. Let him go. Let him finish.
he doesn't really chuck it.
Yep.
I think that makes.
How many points do you think he's going to score over the first 4 weeks of the season?
Well, I'm talking about the longevity of the season.
Yeah, but that's why he's going at tight end 15 because he's not going to play for the first 6 weeks or
Yeah,
whatever.
but Brock Bowers has been dog shit, and he's banged up too.
I know, but he's
But
going
he's
to
gonna play. He's going to be on the
So
field.
you're correct.
Hawkinson will not be on
Hold
the
on.
field.
Hold on. You're correct. If Hawkinson was playing,
yeah,
he
he'd
would
much
be. He
higher.
would be probably
top 5.
tight end 6. He'd be like 6 on tier 2, but he's not playing.
You've done no research whatsoever.
Yes, I have. I've done some,
Some.
but
Yeah, Bears.
Hold on. Let him
Texans,
finish. Let him
dude.
finish. Let him finish. Let
you
him
think
finish.
you think that 4 weeks drops him down into
Yes, 25%
Yes,
of the
because
season.
now here's why, right? So you have to talk
I also-
about it's all about
I also
money. It's
think
about money.
6 weeks.
Number 6 or 7, Kincaid Pitts is like in your $17, $18, $19 range historically. Tight end 15 Hawkinson is like in your 7, 8, 9, 10 range, depending on who it is. So does it drop you down $7 if you're not playing for 6 weeks? It better. You can't pay. You can't
Right,
pay
it's like the Chubb
$20 for a guy that doesn't play for 6 weeks. So it's this, and it's the same thing with who was the guy? I was literally just thinking about somebody. Is there an injured receiver that we were just talking about?
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown. Yeah, it's the same situation with Hollywood Brown. If Hollywood Brown is perfectly healthy, he's going pretty high because he should be carrying a much bigger percentage of that offense on his shoulders. But the reason he's so low is because he's not going to play.
Well, it's like Chubb. If Chubb was playing week one, he'd
Exactly.
go for
Yeah,
he'd
you
go
think-
for $30.
You think Nick Chubb is
He'd go for
running back
30 plus.
40?
It's true.
Right.
All right, so I think Evan Ingram is good there. I think Njoku I don't love in Cleveland anymore.
Evan Ingram. Yep, I like Evan Ingram.
I like
like
Njoku if he had Joe Flacco there still. Because Joe Flacco loved him some David Njoku.
Which
Joe
is like-
Flacco just let it rip.
Which means so that means you're in on Mo Alley Cox for when Anthony Richardson gets hurt.
yeah.
yeah, bro, Ali Cox.
Give me bro Alley
Give me
Cox,
some bro.
dude.
What about
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson? I mean, it's like
I love Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
he's
I
the
like-
number
I dra-
two. He's the number
Yeah.
2 option in Dallas.
No,
right?
he's not Brandon Cooks.
Shut up. He's the number 2. And they don't run the ball. I think Jake Ferguson is a
Yeah.
great play, and he's going to go for about $20. And I think you'll be happy with Jake Ferguson. This really just depends on how you build your strategy.
Yeah.
Because if you go heavy tight end, then you can get a guy you can stash a guy like Hawkinson in as your tight end 2 to pair with Kelsey, and then you have those 2 guys grab a Cole Kmet to fill in for a couple of weeks, and now you have a whole different team as the season goes on. So I do think that there's some interesting ways that you can strategize around tight ends. That's why I think my nomination strategy will be to put Laporta up first to see where the draft's going to go. I think I need to see where Laporta goes to know what the rest of my strategy is. Taysom Hill is an interesting one. That's my guy. I love Taysom. What do you guys think?
I like.
Oh,
him.
Robo wants him. I could tell. Robo wants him. I could tell. What do you think?
I like him.
Is
If he keeps
he
his-
listed as
keeps
a
his-
QB?
He's
and
QB tight end right
If he's
now.
listed as QB tight end,
If he
yeah,
keeps
I don't
his
mind him.
if he
He's
keeps
back.
his
He's
QB
back.
and
Yeah.
tight end, I mean, I don't know. Every year I don't want him, and every year he fucking rocks. dude.
The only thing that scares me is that everyone's talking remember last year that the Waller hype, which was he's so good they send him home. The hype with Taysom Hill is
They did.
Shut up.
They didn't let him practice because Daniel Jones wouldn't throw it to anybody else.
The
No,
hype,
he couldn't throw to anybody else.
They sent him home.
and then
bro.
you drafted Daniel Jones also. Oh god, you're screwed.
I finished in second place.
Not because you drafted those guys. Trust me.
Oh, I think I know what I'm doing.
I think it's because you got Puka on waivers. So let's just relax on the draft. Taysom Hill is interesting, but the thing I don't love is that the coaching. It's all the reports are the coaching staff loves this guy. They love him. They love him, and it's every time that somebody's that in the news, it's why do you need to tell us that they love? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So I think that there's something weird there where they're either it's they're trying to play some stupid game or something. So I'm a little bit weird on Taysom, and then also people are going to spend up because it's a QB tight end, and so depending on money, I think he could easily go right now. What do you think he's going to go for?
$3, $4.
Way more than that.
No, I was,
Think?
7 or 8.
I was gonna say 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 8. I think he goes for a pretty chunk of change.
I think so many people have been burned by him as playing
Yo,
against him.
dude.
yeah.
So many people have been burned by him. They're like, I'm not letting this fucker go for
Yeah.
$1.
Fuck that guy.
An interesting guy on tier 4. The only other guy on tier 4 that I'm interested in is Isaiah Likely.
Oh, I like Hunter Henry. I think he there's
I think that guy fucks.
every New England yeah, he does. every New England receiver is outside the top 40. So it's I do think Hunter Henry is going to get the and
Yeah.
a rookie quarterback's best friend is a tight end.
Okay, I think
You're not high on Gesicki.
I think you're doing the thing again.
If I'm taking any pass catcher from New England, it will be Hunter Henry.
Yeah, but he'll probably get hurt.
I think
and not play the
Gesicki is
first.
going to be legit too. I think Gesicki's going to have a good year. Where's he at on this list? 26. Gesicki will mark my words. Gesicki will start every week in our league.
Okay.
Mark my words.
I'll clip it.
If you draft him.
I'll clip it.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we've done our rankings. Let's do a very quick. What did we say? One prediction for the draft. What is your one prediction?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Great.
I'll go
analysis.
first.
You go first.
There will be at least two teams that leave the draft with less than 2 quarterbacks.
I was literally going to say that.
Yep.
I was literally going to
It
say
happens every year.
my bold prediction is 2 teams.
Usually it's only one.
Usually it's one team.
My
yeah.
bold prediction was going
And
to
it's usually Brooks.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like Mac.
I think it's going to be 2 teams.
like Mac and Brooks.
2 teams. Maybe 3.
Okay, my bold prediction is that Laporta and Kelsey both go for over $30.
That doesn't seem that
I can
bold.
promise you that.
What did they go? What did the number 1 tight end go for last year?
I don't know, $40 maybe.
Oh really? Yeah, that doesn't seem that bold.
Okay, I'll make a different bold. I'll make a more bold prediction.
Yeah, be more bold.
My bold prediction is whoever drafts Christian McCaffrey will also draft another top 10 running back.
Yeah, that's a good strat. I think that was going to be my strategy. Is to get 2 top 10
Okay.
running backs.
Jaime, what's your one prediction for the draft?
I'll end up with Lad McConkey.
Lad McConkey will be on Jaime's team. I like that a lot. No, that's the next one. We're gonna do one thing that you will do, one thing that you will not do. So the one thing you will do is draft Lad McConkey. I need a general bold prediction about the draft.
My bold prediction is somebody will outbid me for Lad McConkey.
Motherfucker.
All right, Robo.
I think that a QB in tier 1 does not finish QB1.
No, it needs to be
But
a
I think they get
draft,
I think,
dude.
A draft.
Yeah, but I think they'll all get drafted as tier 1. Like I think those 4 tier 1 quarterbacks.
A draft prediction.
Something that's going to happen here.
Not season
Here at
long.
the draft.
Something that I
day.
can call you out on if you're wrong on the next draft episode.
I will not bid on Keon Coleman.
That's the next thing we're doing.
That's the next thing.
What do you want from me?
What's going to happen?
What do
in
I
the
want from you?
draft?
Let me say it again very clearly. I want a draft prediction, not one thing you will do or one thing you will not do. A prediction about the draft that we can validate as soon as the draft
Right.
is over.
Like
I have a
Brooks
new-
will
I have
get
a new
so
prediction.
drunk during
Okay,
the
what
power
prediction?
hour.
yeah.
I will be the best dressed one at the draft.
Nice. Nice, like you were last year.
Okay, that's a good prediction. Let's see if that comes true.
I'm going to wear a tuxedo now.
I'm going to predict that Jaime says great value on his first 4 picks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, one thing, Abs, that you will definitely do during the draft.
One thing that I will definitely do is I will get a... What do I want to set this number at? Let's set it at 6. Top 6 running back.
Wow. I'm going to say I will end up with a top 10 wide receiver on my team.
Like pre-draft.
Like this
rank.
ranking. Yeah, this ranking.
I will say that I am going to end up with a player that I don't
Named Lad
want.
McConkey.
Wait, say that again. A player you don't want?
Yes.
Okay, wait. So your prediction is that you will end up with a player that you don't want
Yes.
for how, like,
On accident?
above
or
a certain
like-
amount of money or like even a dollar player?
I'm going to
A player
end up,
above, you give me like a number, like above $15, above $10. Like, give me like some, because I might end up with a dollar player I don't want.
Oh, no. It's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
Probably in the $10 to $15 range.
Okay, so you will end up with a player.
Like on purpose?
No.
Like you're going to try to price and force and somebody's not going to...
Or like I'm going to see Sturmer betting for somebody and then he's not going to actually want them and then I'm going to be stuck with them.
Man, Server's really high on Hollywood.
We can't really like confirm whether this is true or not, so it's kind of hard to validate your that one, but we'll allow it. Robo, one thing that you will do.
I will end up with Lad McConkey.
Okay, you will end up with Lad McConkey. I like that.
I'm going to say damn, I don't know. I don't want to give away my actual
Jesus.
Oh my
strategy.
God, dude! Shut up. Just say what you will do.
Polster's going to get me. Come on, dude.
No.
One thing you will do.
I will end up with a top 5 tight end.
Oh, that's a bold strategy.
Interesting. That is
Wow.
interesting.
All right,
I like
so
that.
top 5 tight end, Lad McConkey, top 10, top 9, I said, or top 10. What did I say?
You said
Top 10 wide receiver,
And
top 6 running back. Well, that kind of jives.
Good. Nobody's that.
Jives.
We're not
You're
battling.
going to give
each
McConkey, and we're going to get good players.
other. Seems like Cardinals' normal strategy.
All right, one thing that you will not do. One thing that you will not do, draft Darren. Darren Waller.
I will not draft Darren Waller.
All right, one thing that you will not do.
I will buy his mixtape though.
I will not bid on Keon Coleman, and I will not have a Patriot on my team.
Wow, no Patriots.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, it's not really that bold because they suck.
they suck,
Okay, one thing you will not do.
I mean, if I'm stuck with Drake May as the only quarterback on the board, I'll take whoever the backup is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually want to do something like real. I will not end up with a top 5 tight end.
You will not end up with a top 5
You
tight
will
end.
not take a top
Okay.
5 tight end.
Opposite
Can I look at this
of
list?
opposite of you.
Yeah, because you think Hawkinson's good.
I will not. What do I want to say here? I will not bid. No, I don't want to say bid. I will not end up with a top 3 running back. I will not end up with a top 3 running back.
I will not do any price enforcing this year.
No, I need something.
I will not do any price enforcing.
I-
I will let anybody go at any value this year.
Okay, well, when
If
you
I'm-
end up with the player on your roster accidentally, I'm going to love that on the post-draft episode.
Oh, you want me to do something else?
You can, how about, we'll keep
Oh,
that.
you
We'll,
want-
we'll
you
keep
want-
that as well. We'll keep that
You
as
want
well.
my my actual bold prediction?
Yeah.
I will at some point
Bet on Keon
fuck up.
Coleman.
No, I will at some point fuck up my draft strategy and be extremely pissed, and everything will go to shit, and I'll just like start bidding on shitty players.
Like Keon Coleman.
There's not a doubt in my mind that I
Keon
mess
Coleman
up
and
this
Patriots.
strategy that I have.
I think it should
other-
be
the other
he will
thing-
end up with a Patriot.
The other thing
Yeah.
that I want to add
Drake
about,
May will be my QB1.
I want to add another thing I will do. I'm gonna do 2 things. I'm gonna get a top 6 running back. And every year I say I'm gonna do this, and every year I don't fucking do it because I think it's a waste of money. I will have 3, or I will definitely have 3 or more quarterbacks. But
Do
I
it.
think, but I
Don't
think
do
I
it.
want to say I'm gonna have 4.
Do it.
I'm gonna have 4 quarterbacks.
Do it. 4 starting quarterbacks.
I think I'm gonna draft 4 start. Yes, 4 starting. 4 top 28.
Ooh, that's okay. Top 28.
Top
Just
28
eliminate 4 quarterbacks. All right.
Yeah, like the any quarterback that's like at risk of getting benched this year, like I'm not gonna have them. So like no Russell Wilson.
All right. So you will have 4 starting quarterbacks that are not at risk of getting benched.
I got another one.
that I don't
Dude,
think. are at
I'm
risk.
loving this now. We're getting a lot. Yeah, I love this.
I got one.
I
more.
really wanted it to be.
We're gonna
3.
write all these down. Somebody's gonna write all these
I
down.
really wanted it to be 3, but you pressured me into saying 4.
Make it 4, dude. Make it 4.
I got another one.
You wanted to do 5. I'm giving you a break at 4.
I'll spend $100. I will spend over $100 on receivers.
Whoa,
That's
Okay.
not that crazy though.
No, I think that's
that's pretty crazy.
that's a lot.
Over $25 a receiver.
50.
think
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
That's a lot of money.
Okay. Over $100
Wow.
on receivers. Okay.
And you're gonna get Lad McConkey.
Wait.
What you spend $40 on
I
Lad
thought you
McConkey?
did you say you're gonna get a tight end too? Or
I
no?
said I will not have a top 5 tight end.
Not. You will not. You're the tight end guy.
No,
That was
Robo's the tight end guy.
No, you're the tight end guy. And
Top
then
6
you,
running
and then
back.
you said
I will have Lad McConkey.
you said Lad McConkey. Got it. Lad McConkey and $100 on receivers.
So $99 on some other receivers and $1 on McConkey.
Dollar on McConkey.
nailed it.
$42 on Lad McConkey.
I hope he gets to the end of the draft and somebody just like, oh yeah, I'll take Lad McConkey. I
have
got
to nominate,
$2.
like now I have to nominate Lad McConkey.
I'll be so
first.
pissed.
Like you have to nominate Lad McConkey first
You have
overall
to.
now, right? Like
We
like,
will be the
if-
only draft
hey.
in all of America where Lad McConkey is the first overall pick.
Hey, Smokey the Bear League. If you're listening to this, nominate Lad McConkey. Don't
Yeah.
care who's got the first overall pick, first overall nom.
I don't think you said one thing you're not going to do. Did you?
Oh no, because I added another thing I will do. Well, I said I wasn't going to price enforce, but I
don't like
can
that.
present.
I need like a concrete thing you're not going to do.
I will not. This is tough. I will not spend more than $1 on a kicker and a defense. That's for sure. But
Okay.
I think that's pretty common.
I might. I can't say no to that.
I will not spend more than $1 on a kicker or a defense. Like I'll say
Okay.
that. That's an easy one though. But
I might.
I
I
might.
will
Yeah.
not.
Anything else? No, that's it.
I have 2 defenses out there that I'd spend more than.
I
$1
will
on.
not Bierstick. definitely gonna Bierstick.
All right. I think that's it. I think we got to wrap it. That's our fantasy football pre-draft prediction analysis show. The next installment will be the post-draft episode when we all rip each other for not doing anything that we just said or doing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
I'm gonna go. I just told you I was gonna get a receiver, and then I didn't even go for a top 30 receiver.
I think the running back thing I'm definitely gonna do just because like the after like 12 it's not good, but the quarterback thing might be tough to do.
That's so funny. All right, I think that's it.
Be tough.
Well,
Thanks for hanging out. If
we
you
will-
if you watch this whole thing, then you're in our league,
God bless
and
you.
fuck you because I'm gonna beat you on Sunday.